Jabbar Khan was born in Fatehpur, UP, and did his MA Literature from Aligarh Muslim University. He worked as a deputy collector in Uttar Pradesh for 1 year, then joined the Indian Revenue Service in 1976 and retired as Chief Commissioner of Income Tax in 2009. Since then, he is working as a social activist in the field of education, civil services, competition, coaching, and WAF matters. I invite Dr. Akramul Jabbar Khan to speak on the role of Islam in nation building. Over to you, Jabbar Khan, sir.
Hello, a very good morning to you all. Uh, First, I must explain why it's not my field. I've been a civil servant throughout my life, but then after my retirement, I'm into some work related with Muslim endowments, which is in a technical word work. So I'm into it, and that is again related with national development as such, development of properties being stolen, being misappropriated. So, but then I will be speaking to you today about Islam and national development, how Islam contributes towards national development. See, the basic unit in Islam is man, of course, as it is in all societies, all religions. For the man, there are certain do's and don'ts. There are two kinds of duties each man owes, that is, duties towards God and duties towards his fellow beings. This latter part, the fellow beings, duties towards them, that is called hukukul ibad. Hukukul ibad has nothing to do with your religious duties, with your religious functions, religious identity. It is common to all. Islam founded on individual and collective morality and responsibilities introduced a social revolution. That social revolution is in the shape of collective morality uh, known through the concepts of equality, justice, fairness, brotherhood, mercy, compassion, solidarity, and freedom of choice. This last one, freedom of choice, leads us to the use or misuse of this freedom, and there comes you know, the forbidding aspect of what you do and what you cannot do. But these are the building blocks of development. Then the holy book Quran addresses Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, which people? Not Muslims, people of the world, the human, sons of Adam. And sons of Adam, out of sons of Adam come men forming tribes, societies, and nations. So it addresses to their intra and interrelationships. The interrelationships is through these qualities, these concepts I have referred to. It prescribes code of conduct to be followed by individuals, tribes, societies, and nations. For the development of a nation, if the nation does not have the equality, the concept of equality before law, freedom limited, of course, by certain bounds. Your liberty ends where my nose begins. So, equality, justice, fairness, brotherhood, mercy, compassion, all these are prescribed for each and every individual. And if the individual aspires for that, for attainment of these qualities, then of course there will be overall development. Without having these qualities as our ruling guidelines, no kind of development will be possible except accidental development like we had Corona recently, and out of Corona came this concept of webinars. I'm addressing you from a distance. So, I'm an ex-civil servant, no man of holy letters or a Maulana or a Guru, but then I speak from my knowledge. Uh, my narration would follow explaining that basically some restrictions have been placed on each and every individual uh, who is basically man is basically selfish, egotistical, self-aggrandizing, and sinful, prone to ill use of his free will. So this code of conduct, like our constitution, so ably explained by constitutional provisions, explained by the previous speaker. So kindly bear with me. Every Friday, a sermon is given in Friday prayers before the Friday prayers begin. And some words I'll explain to you. God enjoins justice, generosity, and kind treatment with kindred, and forbids indecency, wickedness, and oppression. This is repeated week after week, months after months, years after years. It is being repeated since last almost 1500 years to bring home to the man, to all listeners, the concept of their responsibilities towards society. Why should why should one obey the Holy Book Quran states that the previous communities who faced God's wrath and vanished from the face of this earth or were punished grievously. They were punished because of not ignoring their duties towards God, but ignoring their duties towards man. Kam tolna, bribery, dishonesty, injustice, uh, somebody's right being misappropriated, somebody being murdered for no purpose without any authority of law. So all that was under the broad heading of hukukul ibad, that your duties towards your fellow beings. If you observe these duties faithfully, then of course you are a good citizen, you are a part of your nation. As Madam said, she referred to noise pollution. When you call people for prayer on loudspeakers, and not only one loudspeaker, four in every directions. In days when everybody has a watch, everybody knows what time prayer is about to begin, will begin. So that is not understandable. You are misusing your free will. Of course, you are free to practice your religion, but then God says He will not, He will, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. The inherent properties, that selfishness, that rebelliousness, unless it is changed, unless it is realized that there are rights of your fellow beings also, you want to have the best of the world. So you have been explained that first you wish that and work for that for everybody else. If you pray for all, and angels will pray for you that whatever this man is asking for others, may it be given to him and his family. God created man to test him with certain responsibilities. Responsibilities for what? For it is a trial of his the life of limited duration, and the punishment and rewards of that will follow in hereafter. So he is explained that if you better behave for your rewards in the life hereafter, which is endless, which has no limit, no time. You are going to enjoy that eternal life. So if you wish for that eternal life, you have to behave. You have to act according to the religious doctrine, which are not in fact religious doctrine, which are common to all religion. Most of the creation is programmed to obey the physical laws set by God, to maintain balanced equilibrium. And this balanced equilibrium, to attain that, you have that free will and ability to either obey or disobey. If you disobey, then you will have your just deserts on the day of the judgment. So, what is it that you do to behave and to attain that reward, just reward, is that you think of all who are being addressed, who are the creation of God, your fellow beings, and the fellow beings, how you can address, like you have to realize the basic oneness of all, like Holy Vedas say, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda. There is only one truth, and that truth is the guiding principle. If you realize that, then you realize and accept your responsibility towards others. Every citizen is bound by fundamental duty to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India. That is what Article 51A of our Constitution lays down. This enunciation was made 1400 plus years ago in the Charter of Medina by the Prophet himself, where he laid down the duties and responsibilities of all Muslims, Jews, Christians, and others. They were all given equality to practice their religion, equality of opportunities and all, as we have in our constitution today, all over the civilized world. One thing I would like to clear, mostly in relation to Islam, people think that probably Muslims have a concept that the whole world should be one, colored green, like some would like to have saffron. If God had willed so, God Himself says so in Holy Quran. Don't you think that we had the power to make you one, all one alike? But God chose not to do so, to maintain the natural, uh, not uniformity but diversity. He rather shaped us into races, nations, and faiths. That way, He has put us to test during our stay on earth. How do we behave with others? How do we observe our life and respect others? Superiority over one another is only by piety and good action, not race or color. Their prophet in his last sermon said, hence onwards, there will be none who would be superior except by piety and good action. And that piety and good action will finally give you the just rewards of the hereafter, the eternal life. In a specific terms, you are given to observe your duties in a few verses of Quran, where it is reiterated that the wealth should be in circulation. It should not remain concentrated in a few hands. The purpose of creation of humanity is that God tests us as to who among us is more serviceable to his fellow humans, more serviceable through whatever he has, not only wealth, not only assets, all resources, including time. Whatever it has been specified at a particular place in Quran, chapter 2, verse 219, that when they ask you as to what they should spend, you should tell them that whatever is surplus after taking care of the needs of their family and their dependents, whatever is surplus, it should be spent on others. O Prophet, they ask you what they should dedicate in God's cause and the needy. Say whatever is left over. So if you are righteous, you will have no fear, nor will you grieve. Like I said, the hereafter. Uh, it is incumbent on all to understand that you are given a competition by virtue of your birth as a human being, competition of vying with one another, not in achievement, not in aggrandizement of wealth, but in good deeds. You should vie with one another in good deeds. Ayat 148 of chapter 2. God's purpose of creating humanity is to test as to who among you is more righteous. With one another in good deeds. So, if you follow these, then certainly the society will develop, the nation will develop, and your end too would be a reassuring one when it is said, जिस दिन न माल काम आएगा न औलाद मगर हाँ जो अल्लाह के पास पाक दिल लेकर जाए. On the day of judgment, only those persons will achieve salvation who arrive in God's presence bearing a sound heart. That is the sound heart after doing service to the man, to his fellow beings. Why it is so? God says, I have breathed in him my spirit. Chapter 32, verse 8. God has breathed into the man spirit. When the man who was made, who was made out of clay, it was life was breathed into him. God breathed his spirit in the man, and therefore man is expected to is enjoined to behave, is asked to be serviceable, to be helpful towards others. And when you do, the purpose is achieved. There will be overall, all around development. The best part comes to, I'll end with a quote from the Quran, which says, and let there be arising from you a nation inviting to all that is good, enjoining what is right, and forbidding what is wrong. And those who do, they will be successful. Thank you very much for patiently hearing. Thank you. Thank you, Arnailas. Allow me to speak. Thank you so much.